And so, if you're just joining us, I just want to let you know my name is Shantian, and here is Naima. And I am part of a women's community that is helping me fully embody my womanhood. You know, I've been in law enforcement, I've been in the military, a veteran, police leadership, and I've traveled all around the world. And part of my growth, at every level, I've had to learn something new. And in this evolution, in the space that I'm in now, I really want to walk in and own my power. Working in a predominantly a male-dominated field, sometimes I would back away and shy away from showing up. And I really was lost and I couldn't figure it out. And so I happened to come on TikTok one day, and I have been following you for it's only been about 2 or 3 weeks now. And it has been amazing. And to watch you walk in your power, to watch you speak and express who you are unapologetically. I thought that's what I was doing. You know, I had a high level of self-awareness, and I thought that's what I was doing, but I wasn't. And so I wanted to be live in conjunction with you today and collaborate, because if there are women following me, then there has to be other women, for the women following me, who are on the same journey and who want to walk and embrace their feminine power. I want them to be part of the community that I'm now a part of. And so I really appreciate you willing to collaborate and share, as well as ask questions and engage, because there are women out there who are ready to embody their power as we step into 2025.
Yes, I'm glad. You're welcome. I'm glad to hear you even share, the lead up to today. And hello to everyone who's here on Shantia's live stream, and anybody who's here from my TikTok community. Say hi if it's showing, because TikTok is changing things all the time. And I thought it worked to where, even though, I invited you or you invited me and we're doing this together, I thought that it showed it to both of our audiences. So I hope that that's true.
I hope it's true. So I have Jackie. Welcome, Jackie, and Sharon and Ladybug Stokes. Welcome to the live. I hope you stick around and you get some things that are useful for you. I have Dorothy. Can you see the names at all?
I see John liking the live. Can you see a John?
Mm-hmm. I can. No, I don't see John at all. I see last person I have is Miss Emily.
Okay.
Nope.
I really, because the topic today is self-awareness, I actually wish it was on the screen now that I'm realizing, but let's just jump straight into it. I really want us to go hot, hard, straight into it.
Okay.
And so this topic of self-awareness, I want you to tell us why. That's our topic for today, even though what you see on the screen is woman community, but it's related to why woman community is on the screen. So share with us about this, and then I'm gonna break that thing open as far as the space will allow.
So as a law enforcement officer, and even in the military, they trained me to be a really good soldier and a really good cop. But I realized that I was showing up in spaces, it was me showing up. And it was people responding to me. And so on this journey, I recognized that in order to be effective and to serve in a meaningful way, that I needed to know more about who I was. And having and owning self-awareness has been my superpower, because until I met you. So self-awareness has been my superpower, because it allowed me to be who I was, and to know what I brought to the table. It helped me to identify, my strengths and limitations, and I was able to own them and to get curious in spaces. It's allowed me to use my voice and to not take on the identity of other people. However, even on this journey of managing my thoughts and my emotions, and so I thought my energy, I still recognize that I was still high. There was still something there missing, still a connection piece missing. But self-awareness came about because I meet so many people on a daily basis, and I had to be comfortable in my own skin, running from executives down to people who may be marginalized or disadvantaged. And I had to be my best self and be seated internally in order to help them.
Mm-hmm. So immediately it was like, okay, let's go there. When you said self-awareness has been my superpower, and then also this is a deeper conversation. I want to share a bit about myself, since I think this is primarily Shantia's audience. So I want to share a bit so people can have some context and decide if they want to stay or go. So I'm the founder of the Academy for Womanhood, where we help women grow up and truly cultivate their full feminine primal power. So we deal in the power that most women run from, avoid, lie about, hide behind their entire lives. So it is not for any and everybody. Any woman who comes through and makes it through into the actual community, there's a sincerity about her. Okay. We're all flawed. Okay. We are in flesh, and still there's a sincerity. And so I share that as a prelude to this conversation, because I know being on TikTok, it can be endlessly scrolling your For You page. It can be easy to, depending on when you came into this conversation, easy to just not, it's easy to dismiss. How about that? Easy to dismiss, etc. And it's important to me to put that there for like somebody who is a good fit, who's like who I was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. They can hear and sense and be like, oh, this is for me. I want to be here. So that's my prelude before we get into it. So the one thing you said about Shantia, about self-awareness being your superpower, and then also you saying you wanted to be present in a particular way in your existing career as a cop, and also as the founder of Conscious Cop. Am I saying that correctly? Founder of Conscious Cop? Yeah. And where you're at a deeper level are looking to go, right? Because in your current career, you're winning.
Yes, I'm fine in my current career. I retire in 6 years. I've been a part of multiple projects. I've been in various assignments. I was the first female Black instructor at the Academy. I have multiple certifications. I've taught at colleges and schools. I've done all those things, and I was in the process of working on my doctorate, but I paused because I realized that is just another validation check mark that I was pursuing, in hopes that I'd be seen valid in this space when I know I have enough experience to be able to teach, to share, and to help transform people, community, and organizations.
Beautiful. Right there. That's a hot spot right there for us to dive into. Hey, Sweet Pea. So, PhD was just another validation checkpoint, is what you said, right? So that was an awareness. You said that your superpower, self-awareness, right? You were aware that was just me looking for another way to validate everything that I know, because what you are looking at, you're excited about, is being an authority with Conscious Cop. Is that accurate?
Yes, I am really, really excited about Conscious Cop, and it's really designed to help individuals, communities, and businesses police themselves, and about helping develop strategy around teamwork and working together.
Yes. And what do you find? And we're going to connect this to why the woman community matters, because Shantia wants her deeper self to come out and be front facing in the world. See? Okay. Yeah. So when a woman is, we talked about a female cosplaying a woman, right? Which a female can do her entire life. She can be a female in an adult body cosplaying as a woman. Okay. And now Shantia has shared publicly, I want to applaud that too, right? To even admit that publicly, that the PhD thing was just a validation check mark. It's basically saying, me going to get this paper, do this studying, somehow is going to make me suddenly feel worthy, good enough, and valid to come out and be a front-facing authority on the world stage and command attention online, right? And you realize that ain't it. I can get 3 more PhDs. It's not an external, it's not something I can study for. It's in me.
I knew the stuff that I was reading. I was reading this stuff and I'm like, I know this, I know that. And it was just like, why do I think I need these 2 letters behind my name in order to make Conscious Cop valid?
There you go. And what I want to add to that, because it's common, is, so many women who don't have the self-awareness that you have, Shantia, and do go get the PhD or multiple PhDs, okay? And they, like I said, most women run and avoid their power. They'll have 2 PhDs, they'll be married, or no PhDs, whatever. But they're doing all kinds of things to avoid the deep primal power that had women in a whole different position in life centuries ago. So for the listeners here, this is what I mean by the woman community and where we're going ultimately is far beyond a mere TikTok video. This is deep. This is the power that most women avoid, but it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to be in isolation and hiding anymore.
And what you say about power is so important because in addition to just trying to get a check mark, I realized that I've been giving my power away for years, hoping that if used right, I mean, I feel good when I see me sharing my ideas, my strategies, my energy behind other people's projects and are giving ideas to politicians, to different leaders on the department. I was trying to get my power away. And I realized I was trying to get my power away in relationships because I was married and I subsequently got divorced. And I was guilty of trying to give my power to him to wield and to do something with because the world told me that, you know, I had another female leader tell me, you know, if you come back in this unit, you got to tone it down a bit. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Like, because I'm showing up happy and I'm expressive. And so the power piece was like, no matter how many people I gave my power to until I owned it for me, I can be self-aware as I want. I can help as many people as I want. I can know that I'm intelligent, bright, beautiful. But until I own that for me and I make that the business that pays me, I'm just going to keep going in a loop and get sick.
Yeah, get sick. That's another piece right there. Physically getting sick when you don't come into the power you know that you are. So if you're already, I want us to continue this conversation, but if you're already like, yes, this is me. I know, you know what I mean? I talk to women all the time. It was like, as soon as I saw it, I knew this was for me. Because that happens because of the alignment. If you already know, I want to invite you into our Womanhood Initiation happening this Sunday. The Womanhood Initiation is your gateway into the woman community. As you see here on Shantia and I's screen, the woman community, and the Womanhood Initiation is your gateway into the woman community. The Womanhood Initiation is happening this Sunday, November 24th. Here's some things you need to know. One, you need to vet yourself honestly. How do you vet yourself? You go to the link in my bio, click it, click Womanhood Initiation. Read the details on the page. Watch the video. That's one way you vet yourself. The other way is if you are not prepared to invest $99 while we are on Zoom on Sunday, and this is assuming you're a good fit. I had a woman show up to yesterday's Womanhood Initiation who, even though she heard me say plenty of times, assuming you're a good fit, because just because you show up, just because you have money doesn't mean you can come into the woman community. The Womanhood Initiation is a filtering. It's an opportunity for you to meet yourself at perhaps the deepest level you've been met ever or in a long time. Showing up to the Womanhood Initiation with the money in hand does not guarantee you will be admitted into the woman community. Okay? So this is how you vet yourself. One, you go to the link in my bio, click it, and click Womanhood Initiation. Read the details on the page. Watch the video. If you are a yes to what you watch and you read, when you go to the link in my bio and click Womanhood Initiation, and you're prepared to invest $99 a month on Sunday, assuming you're a good fit, then you can register for the Womanhood Initiation as a gateway into the woman community, which we'll talk a bit more about here and why Shantia is signed up toward the end of our time here together today. Thank you for all those hearts. Thank you for all those hearts. So one, Shantia admitted the whole giving the power away. I have been guilty of this, wanting to, hide behind a man and feed it to him and let him do it because I don't want the responsibility of being in ownership of myself, being honest, truly saying what I mean, really allowing myself to exist as a large being when I walk into any environment in the world, any conversation with whoever, my man, my mom, my friends, work, lovers, etc. Also, the whole getting a degree because that'll make me good enough, that'll make me valuable in a fundamental, deep way. And so many women have done that, which is why perhaps, Shantia, you've heard the expression, all of these PhD women is being played by GED niggas. Have you ever heard that?
I have heard that. I of course, because I've been told that.
And what do you hear when you hear that?
I hear that we're just seeking validation and that they're just seeking validation and attention from anywhere because they don't have it within themselves.
Yeah.
That's it.
The whole thought that if you're so smart, right, you got a PhD, oh my God, you're so smart, you're such a success. And that somehow that makes you automatically emotionally intelligent. Somehow that automatically makes you self-possessed, you know, and authentically loving and appreciative and revering yourself. And it shows time and time again that it doesn't, because this man who's clearly not book smart can come in and play this woman and do right, because he actually has the inner awareness. Meanwhile, she's trying to get all of her validation from external things. You see?
Yes.
So
because they walk in and they know that they know they're gonna get you. They know that they know their power.
And they see, you know, like the you that you would have been if you didn't see that about yourself and you got the PhD and you in this high and mighty position of you so amazing, even though deeply you're not. Those dudes can see that. That's how they're able to play. Okay. But anyway, I'm saying all this to speak to real power. Okay. I'm saying all this to speak to real power. You want us to pause for a minute, Shantia?
Oh no, he's just sleeping. He doesn't like the lay the way I had him. It's my nephew. For those who are here watching, I'm babysitting my nephew. This is life. I'm enjoying it though. Oh man.
Cool. All good. I just wanted to give you a minute if you needed a minute. That's all. So let me go.
How many people do you see on your screen? Because I'm trying to see if it really did share to yours or not. If it shared to yours.
I see 14.
Okay, so it is sharing to your community. So make sure you're addressing your community too. So High Native Mix and Loudward, because my community right now has 3.
Okay. All right.
So it is shared to your community as well.
So
community.
So here's what I want to get at though. This topic of self-awareness, right? A lot of women are like, I know this about myself. I know I'm petty. I know I have a pattern of starting and stopping. I know that while I am successful in my career, that there's a deep part of me, a deep power that I've yet to touch, that I know is necessary for me to be successful with the real thing I want to do. Or I don't even, how would you describe Conscious Cop? Like your actual vision?
So it's a real thing I want to do. So I joined law enforcement to bridge the gap between police and marginalized communities. I got there and realized.
Do you see that as your vision, your calling? What do you see that as?
I see that as my calling.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
And I've been trying so long to like bring forth some of my ideas and strategies to my agency or to different communities or to different politicians that are local or to different organizations. And it's like, ain't nobody gonna do it because I'm telling you, you're supposed to do it.
Yes, there you go. And what has been, like earlier you were like, self-awareness was my superpower until I met Naima. What clicked for you?
What clicked for me was that, so part of self-awareness is I don't want to obviously negate it because I'm a self-awareness coach. It is about taking time to identify your thoughts, emotions, your stories, your patterns, and how you're showing up in the world. It's adding language to your experiences. And so although I added language to my experience and I was able to own my limitations and the things that I thought in particular situations, it was another thing to actually embody it. And what I would find is even though I had a response to my triggers, I still was not getting the complete desired results that I wanted. So if I just give you an example, on the road to becoming, hold on. What? I need to take that off. I'm sorry. So I have a TikTok timer, so I don't stay on TikTok too long, and I forgot that it was set. So on the road to becoming a police lieutenant, like I had to actually sit down and do an oral resume on my test, and it's like I had the language to describe my behavior, how I saw discipline, how I saw people, what I thought in the community. I had all this language about me, how I show up, and the things that I did, but I was still so nervous on that day. And I was able to be, get seated and take some deep breaths, but I still felt small. I was showing up. Okay, I got to be real. I was showing up, and there were white officers who had got help from people that were higher ranking than me, and I knew that there was some cheating and some shit in the game. And I'm showing up there, and I'm like, man, I do all this prep work and everything, and they still gonna walk in there and win, and I just wasn't feeling it. Luckily, I'm still here, and I showed up. I did score number 5, but I just can't imagine I would have been number 2 or 1 if I would have walked in a full confidence, not being so afraid. Mm-hmm. So what spoke to me when you said it was like, you have to integrate all of you. You have to be okay with, I'm okay with not being liked, but like fully just walking in it and owning and possessing you. I was like, and it's scary because all my freaking life, 22 years, and me in the military, you doing too much. Too much. And so it's now like, this woman is saying it's okay to do too much. And when you do too much along the way, you may trip and fall, but it feels so good. It's felt good over the past week to be me. Yeah. And so self-awareness gave me the language. It gave me the experience. It helped me identify and break patterns and molds, but it's something about full embodiment that I was missing. Yeah.
Let's go there, because this is, when I say there, I mean language to the inner experience of navigating embodiment, like truly making this decision. And I like to start by sharing when I was actively running and I knew I was running. Okay. So in this case, running for me was city hopping, right? Eating copious amounts of sugar, drinking heavily, being so violent, picking fights with people. Okay. And so much more, because I've gone in and out of running at different stages, at different degrees, right? Because you could still be visible and still be running. It's it's so many ways. It's tricky. It really is. But I want to speak this to the listeners right now. Is he falling asleep?
Yes, and I'm fine, by the way. I'm just plugging in. So I'm listening.
At least he'll be asleep, Yeah, he will. So I want for the listeners to hear, first of all, how common this whole running from our power thing. And then really starting to touch on the deeper, what many of us fear is being out of control. Because we know that there's a kind of surrender that requires, we cannot grip. There's no, you get on a, what do you call that? What's some things called? Huh?
A roller coaster?
Yes. And you going up and you right, and you can't do nothing. You about to go down and slide. You know what I mean? But you gripping, oh my God. Right? And so similarly, when it comes to a woman truly surrendering to her full power, which requires she drop into an unknown element of herself that's foreign, but it's also very known to her when she tells the truth, right? Because like I always say, women know. We might
suppressed.
We might not admit it. What'd you say?
It's the part that I suppressed.
Yes. And we're women suppressed. I want all of us to know you're not alone.
No.
Okay. And so what are some of the ways that you've run and hide or sabotage?
Behind other people. Somebody say, hey, I need you. I want you to work on this project with me. I'll be in the background, just giving them all type of ideas and writing down and telling them what to do and be supporting them. And they take the stage and I'm just sitting in the background like, yay. I have ran by avoiding speaking engagements that I've been asked to show up to. I have hid by not going out and hanging out with my friends because I'm scared of taking too much attention when I walk in a room, because I love to dance, and it's like I don't want to do that because I know I'm a dance. I also hid with alcohol sometimes. I hid with binge watching movies. I've hid through books. Like, oh, I'm reading these books, and these books are actually I'm doing something. I've lied to myself and said I was
That's
doing
a
something.
big one for women who want to go read books and feel like they're doing something, or watch a bunch of YouTube videos and feel like they're doing something.
Yeah.
That's a
So
big
I've
one.
hid by helping other people.
Yeah.
I've hid by helping other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, see, like this, right? And then living in the domain, like where you are now, like just say since we came into each other's world, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? And what has that been like for you internally? Now that you've joined the woman community, you're coming to Women in Italy, you know, you got
Yes, I'm
Shadow
coming to
Gold.
Italy in July. Y'all should join us.
The right women, okay? Like this
The
is
right
not my
women. Not
company is
everybody.
not
Not for everybody.
exactly. But what has it been like for you internally?
I thought that I paused and reflected before, but it has been a complete pause and asking myself, what is the truth in this moment? What am I really afraid of if I say that thing? And if I could give you an example, because it showed up yesterday, and it's small because we think that it's most of us want to go into business and we want our business to thrive, but isn't that everyday thing that it shows up? And so my son had an issue at the school yesterday, and I sent an email, and then when I picked him up, I was able to talk to the administrator who sent the email. And as we all know, everything that's going on with the country, I don't rock in fear. But I also wanted to know what was the intent in her documentation, because even when I sent something back, I let her know mine. And normally I would try to find a way to just be like, hey, so that email, can you just tell me what you meant? But this time, now that I'm with you, I took a deep breath and I said exactly what I wanted to say. Hey, what was the intent in your email? Because I'm well aware from working in the schools that some things are documented. And I want to make sure that this is the start of a paper trail. And while we're at it, can you please send me a screenshot or an email to let me know how this is documented in my son's file? Because I need to know, right? And it was like, oh man. And I would just be so nervous about that. I'm like, she gonna file a complaint against me if I get smart with her, you know? And it was like, and like you taught me, like, it's just it's a softness. I wasn't aggressive. I wasn't mean. I wasn't nasty. It was straight to the point.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, exactly that. What has it been like emotionally? What has it felt like? Even in your decision to buy Shadow Gold, your decision to join the community, your decision, what has that felt like internally? And heal your witch wound, you know, and going and facing yourself and on the edge of self-possession. What has it been like for you internally? What has it felt like?
It's been some tears. It's been some tears, crying over time lost. But also it's been a lot of like, I'm here and I'm excited and I can do this and I still have the opportunity. It has been some validation, like meaning internal validation, not from you, just like I knew I wasn't crazy. It's okay to feel this way. The Grand Awakening was just really about how I've been the person holding me back the most, me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I still only imagine it's still going to be some tears and it's still going to be some more tears. So but my body is feeling lighter. I'm feeling more motivated. Like, before meeting you and coming into you, I was in search for a coach, and I was just like, nope, I don't need nobody. I'm going to do this by myself this year. Yada yada whoopie woo. And now it's like, oh no, this was exactly what I needed. It's been a clearing. It's been a rest. It's been a rest. I don't have to rush. I know I'm gonna get there. I feel a way I ain't never felt in 41 years. I tell you that. I will tell you that. I'm 40, and it's like, even, yeah. But heal your witch wound did it for me. The first question you asked, and I ain't giving it to y'all, but the first question you asked on heal your witch wound, it was like, oh, snap, for real? Oof. And that was a heck of a question. And then by the end of all those exercises and bringing it all together, I was in that room screaming. Like, I was screaming and affirming and screaming and affirming, and it felt great.
Did you do the exercise, the actual taking up space one? Did you do that?
So I did that. So I went to a party that night. I did it that night. It
Okay.
was somebody's 40th birthday party, and like I said, I normally hide. I don't dance. I don't show up. But this time, I showed up. Normally, I'll start the party, then I leave the dance floor. When the dance floor got empty, I stayed there. I stayed there. I didn't care whose eyes was on me, but the whole time I was still sensing and I felt my nervousness, but I stayed with it. It was interesting because at times I went to go veer off and tried to go in the corner of the dance floor. And then I said, nope, I'm going right back to center stage and I'm going to sit with it.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the night, because I sat with it, so many women were talking to me and I was able to actually record 3 women. It was a red carpet there and they were leaving and they were dancing. And I said, hey, let me record you. And I helped them take up space too. And it was beautiful. They were so happy to get their videos. And so I didn't necessarily go and do the full gamut of what you said, but I took the opportunity where I was to walk in that space.
That sounds like a great opportunity too. And it sounds like what happens when one woman expands, other women feel a permission to expand, and then there's a ripple effect. And ultimately, that's how this is going to work over time, but being resilient, because there's going to be a lot of unpleasantness. How about this? A lot of violence on the way to women coming into their full power, okay? And I still want you to do it in the way that I said in Heal Your Witch Wound, okay? Because that's very powerful as well, okay? Extremely.
So I had that sort of experience, but on a different level, if I could share. And I just want to, so I do want to do it again. I did it in the middle of New York. So here where I live is a lot of racial tension. And to be in a space where you're just a human and you exist, because there's so many people coming and going, it felt good, but it was still different because I was only doing it with one form of identity, not the fullness of me. And so, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, please do. And bring it to the woman community, because I want folks to hear, because there's other, sometimes people have it and they forget they have it. Anyway, so thank you. I want to address the comments before we go on. Those watching, is this a yes for you? Oh, hi, Mahogany. Thank you for that. I think Mahogany is the one. Oh, yeah, thank you, Mahogany, also with the hearts and things. Before we move on, are there any questions? I'll say this as I wait for people to type in potential questions. I'm asking you these questions, Shantia, because I want, one, for you to hear yourself speak, and have this time for reflection and being present. I'm also wanting the audience to hear what it's like to be on the edge of possessing yourself, to finally say yes and still move through crying, move through nervousness, move through being afraid. And part of what's helping you do that is the support, in addition to the woman community, right? Because you also have a couple of our digital products.
Yeah, because when we talk about when we talk about changing and shifting, right? I have best friends, right? I have best friends that I've had relationships for 20 plus years, but we are, so to speak, on the same level. And so for me, while I'm able to show up with them, we're still interconnected. And so the opportunity to be a part of a community where I get to be fully expressive in me, and get feedback in a fully expressive way, not passive aggressive, not jealous, it is by way of helping me. And yes. I get to show up with other women who want to do the same thing. Until I actually experience that in the body, it's not going to show up in the world. And so for women out there like me who may not be surrounded by women who are ready to do the work and walk and all that, because even now I can tell you 2 of my friends, they're taking it back at me at the party. They didn't join me on the dance floor. They didn't. And so I don't know what that's about to be like, and it's shifting my relationships. And so to be a part of a community, to an opportunity to experience it and again embody that, is going to allow me to show up in my spaces that I occupy and attract the right women who are ready to level up and grow as well.
That's major right there, that you're even I don't know what's going to happen there, right? We might not even be friends as I start to bloom more into my primal power, because I see who you are. You women are fierce. Okay. Let's be clear. Women are fierce. So it's not like I'm, you fierce, and girl, yeah, you are. And so are billions of other women. You know what I'm saying? Because I want everybody here listening to know this. And I often say we're so powerful, we don't even want it. A lot of us. Okay. We're so powerful, we don't want it. And what we don't want is the responsibility of being fully alive in our bodies, where we're so in tune with all the time, that our hypersensitivity makes us a true force when we walk into a space. And when you're used to not being in your power, that seems like I'm going to do something wrong. That's too
I'm gonna
much.
say something wrong.
I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to hurt somebody. But no, that's when you constantly are in the small, resisting, at war between your conscious and your unconscious mind and all that. But when you say yes, the way Shantia did, which normally we say yes after we've suffered a long time, unfortunately, after we've hid a long time, been in enough pain long enough, gone in enough loops enough, and we're fucking exhausted and we moved through misery enough, then we're able to say yes, and we're willing to say yes. And then you experience what you didn't know what you experienced. And it's what Shantia said, rest.
Yes.
You said soft, I think you said.
It's soft now. Like, someone's trying to talk to me and I'm not interested. It is such a softness. When I was talking to my son's administrator, it was such a softness and a commanding presence. And it's like, it's kind of like a, oh, well. And I have to figure out and experience what this is about to be like and be ready for the backlash. It's like possessing of self. And I was so, the way you explained that in here, your witch wound, like possessing yourself, it was like, oh, crap. I really have to step up and be responsible. So I really have to step up and claim my space and tell people no, and tell people I can't. Like, it was, I used to say it before, but it was different. It was sort of like in a protective way. This is in a purposeful, meaningful, loving way. Like, I don't.
It's from the deep of you. It's not a get away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. The depth. And I'm also hearing I can finally be myself.
Yes. And so in a conscious cop space, I've always got nervous because, and it's a space I still have to work on when I'm going through the shadow gold. It's a space where I was afraid of being judged by white and Black people, where I was afraid of my perspectives being seen as less than or not taken seriously or validated. And now I'm at the point, like, you know what? I get it. You have a process to help me work on that, but I so look forward. And I've been saying I've been doing little snippets on my page, but I'm ready to walk and to talk about the full spirituality of law enforcement and how the spirit lives in law enforcement and how even racism is a spirit and different strategies and stuff we can do to overcome it, starting with being personally accountable. Yeah. And I was afraid that, Black people aren't personally accountable. How? Because that means that I got to have something in order to do it. And it's like, no, you don't. And so I was nervous. I can't believe I even just said that publicly, not knowing who's screenshotting. And it's like, I get to do that. I get to learn how to do that. And I get to be part of a community who will tell me that maybe, Tia, hey, how do you feel? And how can you refine that or make that better? And it's from a place of actual like love and help and assistance.
Yeah. I want to reiterate that we deal in primal power over here. I want to reiterate that because it needs to be reiterated. And I want folks to, I just got to keep saying this because like a woman who showed up yesterday at the Womanhood initiation, she talked about being offended because I said something to her honestly. She used the word unfair with me. And I said to her, darling, life is unfair. Okay? And it's this true maturity, this true, I'm ready. Because to be self-possessed, you got to be able to handle everything about reality, particularly the difficult things. Okay? And so when we start dealing in the primal you and refining that primal you so that you can come out into the world and be rare, because any woman who truly deals at the instinctual level of her and is straight when she talks to people and is from a clean space, not from a defensive, protective, fear-based way, but is coming like from her cervix. And, just to give a visual and a physiological sensation association, it's coming from her cervix. It's coming from the base of her spine. It's coming from her deepest mind. It's coming from her true knowing, not like the I'm grown woman, get out my face kind of position. And the only way it can actually come from there is if she moves through everything that's in the way of her operating from there.
I'll
And
close my
everything
eyes
that's,
because
let me
because
finish
what,
this. Everything that's in the way of a woman operating from that pure, penetrating knowing that were when you, like when my mom was berating me and I was scared and I had been doing deep alchemy and I had built up is a weak muscle that I had built some strength around because I used to cower around my mother around certain elements of my power and I needed my power. So I started doing work to develop it. I remember the first time she confronted me in a way that I needed to be strong for, and I met it and I was calm. And I remember saying to her, after her telling me I was an embarrassment to the family, you stupid, who do you think you are? Take that blog down. I've been telling people just going off, okay, in front of my sister, my niece, my nephew. Whole big old confrontation. It was like one of the biggest bridges into my womanhood, right? And for other women, it could be somebody else. It could be your father. It could be, right, somebody who, but the point is somebody who you respect and whose love you've been dependent on for all of your life. And that's who my mom has been for me. So when she did this, it was a huge opportunity for me to walk in that bridge from female into woman that I talk about, because so many females are cosplaying as women. And that was me once upon a time. I know what that looks and feels like. And if I had cowered, which I had done plenty of times with my mom, if I had cowered when she was like, you're an embarrassment to the family, you stupid, take it down. I mean, she was going in, right? So it was like the perfect opportunity for me to be like, you're right, like, and be a little girl. And this was in my 30s, mind you, okay? But the alchemy I have been doing, the real kind, which is primal, see? And I have talked repeatedly over the years about most women are not doing shadow work. They're just ruminating in the things that they feel insecure about. They're ruminating in their fears. They're ruminating in childhood trauma and memories. They're ruminating, crying, journaling. They're not doing the physiological work that would dissolve the way all the thoughts that get in the way of her operating from that penetrating knowing that when I said from that deeper place that I was able to access because I had been doing the alchemy that got all the fear and little girl and I need to belong and I want to be her daughter. And if I don't act like this, she won't love me. She won't be my mother. And how am I going to look like all that was in the way, dissolving it by going down into the deep where it's dark and ugly and petty and envious and dangerous and down up into that, which is work, like actual work. And when I said to my mother, after she had just been, and my head was down and I looked up at her and I said, piercing, no disrespect, no loud, this is who I am. When I tell you, my mom literally turned around and walked out of the room like nothing happened. So to access that part of you so you can be penetrating like that in a sales conversation, in your content creation consistently online with what you really want to talk about, with your husband, your lover, your children, your mother, some woman somewhere, something with, all the people we deal with in our lives to live thriving lives where I don't feel like it. I'm scared he gonna say that. I know my marriage is not gonna work if I come into my power because this marriage is actually dependent on me playing small. Like all that, okay? And that's why he pays the bills, because I play small. So my whole marriage has been based on prostitution here. And if I actually grow up here, what's gonna happen, okay? If you need that kind of power that penetrates, you need to do the deep primal work, which is going to confront everything in you that is offended. Nobody should be offended. Primal work confronts everything in you that still wants to be your mommy's daughter. So you're 45 years old acting like a fucking girl around your mother.
Lisa on my page saying what? Can you clarify your question for us, Lisa?
You know, being the you 50 years old and you're afraid to go live. Okay. That's what I say. Age does not equal wisdom. Age does not equal maturity. Okay. I have my own experience to know this. And after working with women for 13 years, I know as a matter of fact, I say with full confidence that age does not equal maturity. That most females, are children in adult bodies. They're females cosplaying as women. They're married, they're fucking and sucking, cooking and cleaning, and don't know who they are.
And acquiescing at work and giving their power
Pardon?
away. I said, and acquiescing at work and giving their power away to their supervisors and doing what the lower ranking people tell them to do.
There you go. So I'm saying all this like a disclaimer, you know, because this woman who said this yesterday, I was just like, you've been watching my content and you think you're gonna come in here talking about you offended? I told her I don't care. I told her straight up, I don't care. You feel like it's unfair? Life is unfair. Welcome. Okay? How about we reorient your whole experience of life that you don't even perceive things as being unfair anymore? How about that? Would you like that? Or would you like to stay in an energetic place of being offended? I'm offended. See, this is unfair. Life is so unfair. See, this is why I can't get ahead, because life is unfair. See, that's not fair. He shouldn't have did that to her. That's not fair. Would you like to continue? Continue. If so, the woman community is not for you. And you can go tell whoever you want to tell that I said it, okay? So I'm saying that right here, right now, for everybody who's watching. Over here in the woman community, we deal in your primal power, which at the base of you, you don't give a fuck. When you when you refine it, because I also want to say this for those of you who are literally ignorant about this, okay, experientially, okay. Most women, female people think I don't give a fuck is this whole rampage out, just fucking up the world, being mean. I don't give a fuck. Because I don't give a fuck, bitch. No. Over here, we work in refinement. That's why we have the structure of the community. So there's refinement. When you take the part, and when I say this is nuanced, you know, let me even reframe what I just said. It's not I don't give a fuck like I don't give a fuck. What it is all of the fake shit is out the way. That's the I don't give a fuck. Okay? All of the lies you tell, out the way. It cuts through. All of the ways that you hide behind veils and deceive yourself and fall into, I don't know, and I'm offended. Just all the little trickery shit that women do. Your root self will slice through that shit so hard and heavy. So hard and heavy. And you want that sword to penetrate you because you are your own fucking enemy. So you need to be able to penetrate yourself. So if you want to be like, I'm offended, that's your lack of ability to penetrate yourself. See, it's so unfair. That's your lack of ability to penetrate yourself. See, because that's what I'm going for, because niggas ain't shit and they're fucking predators. Isn't there an aspect of you that's a predator too? No, I'm good. And I just want to help people. And I'm just here to solve problems. And Earth is trash. Okay. Go stay over there. You ain't ready for this. Okay? So I'm saying it as a disclaimer, because when baby girl showed up with that, I said, wait a minute, you've been watching my content and you thought you was going to come rock with that over here? Maybe I need to be reiterating clear, huh? So there you go. All right. So for those of you who are ready for your own penetrating power, okay, and you are feeling called to the woman community that we're talking about here, the Womanhood Initiation, which you see here on my screen, is coming up on Sunday. Okay. Here's how this works. The Womanhood Initiation is the gateway into the woman community. Coming to the Womanhood Initiation does not guarantee you'll have access to the woman community. But this is how you increase your chances of being a good fit. One, you go to the link in my bio, click it, and click Womanhood Initiation. Read the details on the page. Watch the video. Be honest with yourself, vet yourself. If you are a yes to what you read and what you watch, when you go to the link in my bio and click it for womanhood initiation, and assuming you're a good fit, you're prepared to invest $99 a month while we are together in the womanhood initiation on Zoom this coming Sunday, then you can register. If you are a no to what you read and watch on the page, if you are a no to being prepared to invest $99 while we are together on Sunday, then do not register for the womanhood initiation. Okay? So the womanhood initiation is your opportunity to meet yourself, to meet me, and to vet yourself in advance, to prepare yourself to really start to meet yourself, to do this primal work that we do in the woman community. Okay? And for those, I want you to reiterate, wait, hold on. Any questions? Trust on another level, trust God in me, call myself out, and it be not only okay, but work. Yes. Any questions? Baby trying to raise babies, walking through accepting it. Yes, yes, yes. People feed off of you playing small. Yeah, that's true too. Shariah, I feel like I'm healing her as I work through shadow work. Okay. All right. So what? You said something? I want you to share with the people why you joined the woman community and paid for the year in full. Why did you do that?
I joined because I needed it. Like I said, I have been in a career in law enforcement for 22 years. I've been a cop. I've been part of projects. I've been the first in many arenas, several trainings, several degrees. I've coached. I've run cohorts. I've been married, divorced, remarried the same guy, divorced him again. And it was time for me to break patterns. And I knew that it was something that I was missing. And although I'm a self-awareness coach, and so I teach people how to have the language around their experience, to understand their thoughts, emotions, and their actions, and to take the steps and the strategies to create the life that they want, to spend time alone, to be selfish, to say no. I'm here teaching people all of those things. And then it was like, that wasn't enough. It was not enough for where I want to go. And because I was still hiding. I was saying all the things. I was doing all the things. Yes, it brought me some results. I wouldn't even be coaching in this space if it didn't. But when we talk about next level, we talk about real work, and we talking about fully believing in me and not having my job to coddle me and keep me safe. Like, oh, I'm safe as long as I do this and I don't say this and I still got this job. Not to like, I still was suppressing parts of myself and who I was and how I was showing up in all of those spaces. Mm-hmm. And so that's what made me join. It was like, I have to go through the deeper work, because I lived long enough suppressed. I lived long enough not saying his prayers and speaking my voice. I've lived long enough arguing with people about how I show up and what I think. I've spent long enough giving my power away and my ideas, and then having the nerve to be mad about it. Like, I helped you use me. Like, I helped you use me. I helped you abuse me. I did not trust myself. I recently got into a thing with a man who was fixing my car. When I showed up at the shop, I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. But nope, I ain't trusting myself, because I don't want to be that person that be like, you can't help the low man on the tadpole. You only want to go to the big businesses. It was like, if I wouldn't even got bamboozled out my $1,000 if I would have listened to myself. And so even in all this space and all the self-awareness work, it was like, in order to be able to make the influence, the impact, to make Conscious Cop come alive, to make sure I'm still doing my cohorts and I'm actually showing up for women, I got to show up for me first. I can't keep giving my power away. And I needed to do the work. And not just that, I needed to be part of a community where people that did it. Because if I had that community where I was, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't need it. Yeah. But the reality is, until I feel it in me, I'm not even going to track women that want to. The women that's already doing it, they in my space like, what? Like, nah, we ain't ready for us, little girl. So It's like full possession of me. And so to be a part of a community that I'm going to get to show up at, and I'm going to show up. I'm expected to show up. I'm expected to be real, authentic, raw, and all my primal self. And you so right about that, not giving a fuck. And it was not about me not giving. Like, I show up on, here I go.
Yes.
I show up on scenes and I get tired of people's excuses. I get tired of officers' excuses too about why they get attitude. Like, how the hell you get an attitude and you got a whole uniform on and you getting paid to be here?
Mm.
How you get an attitude with anybody? Because last time I checked, your paycheck takes $60-something an hour. So why don't you just show up and serve and be quiet? Like, it's just like, but now it's not that aggressive anymore. It's like an attitude for what? It's.
I want to acknowledge there's so much admission in what you're saying right now. And this is what so many women need to do. And you're doing it. Like, I helped you abuse me. I helped you use me. Like, owning, taking responsibility. Because you can't move if you still like, that's unfair. You did that to me. You know? No, actually, you cooperated with that. You let them do that. You was in on that. See? Like that right there. Admitting like that preps you to be able to do this deeper work that starts to cut through the parts of yourself that you're currently struggling with. When so it's beautiful. And I love that she was going there. You know what I mean?
So much to know it. It was one thing to know it. It was one thing to write it. It was one thing to sit in my selfish sister time and say it. But what was I doing with it?
Yeah. So the body part is where it changes the game, and it's very visceral. Mm-hmm. So this is great. I love it. So we're going to go now. Do you have any closing words or anything you want to say?
If your body is already telling you to get here, get here. That's number one. Like, don't start getting rattled up in your head and wound up in your head. And the reason I say that is because I almost missed out, because I was second guessing myself, and I was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't right. This too much. And then I was like, I went back to go get in, and the link wasn't there anymore. And I was like, what? What happened? What happened? What did I miss? And my thing is now starting to make me verify that I'm here, and I don't know why. So, but yeah, it was like, so if you're ready to embody and to step in the fullness of you, like, do it. Don't keep waiting. Don't keep playing small. Don't keep playing with yourself. Don't keep playing with your energy, your vibe, your purpose, your vision, your influence, everything that you are running from, run toward, please. Oh,
yes. Yeah. I look forward to more of that. I say, thank you so much. And lastly, I'll say, piggybacking on what Shantia just said, if your body is already a yes, your whole being is like yes, and you read the info on the page, watch the video, vet yourself, and you're prepared to invest, please come forward. I would love it. I'd love to see your face on Zoom. Shantia, you, darling, thank you so much for being here today. And assuming this went well for us and we discussed in our debrief, I look forward to returning. I most definitely look forward to returning. And thank you all so much for being here. I want to give a special shout out to Mahogany for being a moderator of sorts, getting the likes up and engaging, sharing your here. So thank you so much, Mahogany. Do you know Mahogany, Shantia?
I don't, but thank you, Mahogany.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't.
Okay. All right, darling. Well, I am going to hang up here and call you in about 3 minutes for a quick debrief. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.